So Bailey was our son. He was 20. He was very compassionate and kind. He had just moved down to Canberra when we lost him in April of 2024. He loved learning and he worked really hard to get a strong ATAR and get accepted into university down in Canberra. And he was so looking forward to just exploring and adventuring down there. I was really excited for him to start that next chapter of his life. And yeah, we don't really know what happened. He was loving life. He would excitedly ring me up and tell me about the tests coming up because that's something that he actually enjoyed. And he had Easter eggs for his little baby sister all stashed away. And he was talking about plans, holiday plans he'd made with his girlfriend. So yeah, that's probably a little bit about Bay.
Yeah, a real larrikin.
Yeah.
Easygoing, loved life and
yeah, he could
loved
chat
his
to
family
anyone.
and friends.
Yeah, he could chat to anyone. He would chat to the most important person in the room, but he could also chat to that larrikin that's on the street. Yeah, he could just turn it on.
Yep.
So those early days and weeks were really hard. The grief was so raw. What surprised me was the amount of emotions that I was able to feel and how deep those emotions ran. So I could feel incredibly sad, but completely grateful for all that I had and all that I had with Bay. I would feel intense longing, but complete betrayal by everything that had happened. Those early days were really tough.
A roller coaster just doesn't quite do it justice. A roller coaster of emotions. Trying to work out how to deal with them. Yeah. So we first found out about the suicide bereavement group through Standby. When we lost Bay, I knew that we would need help. This was not something that we could go through just on our own. We also found out about it through a friend of ours that had lost her son to suicide as well. And so when we attended, I wasn't nervous about the people. I kind of figured that if I didn't like it, I just wouldn't go back. But I was really worried about opening up that grief any wider, opening up that door any wider to that grief, and worried that it would just completely swallow me whole. I also knew that if I did nothing, it would swallow me whole anyway. Going to the suicide bereavement group allowed us to share that experience with other people that also gone through the same experience. The experience is completely unique in every situation. I often find myself just nodding along and feeling relieved that someone else is putting words to an experience or a feeling that I thought was my own. The group has been really helpful. Suicide is something so heavy, it's really difficult to talk for other people to relate to. You often feel that you don't want to broach that subject and bring the mood down. Going to the group where we can share those experiences is really helpful. Just that camaraderie in that support. It's been really helpful to us and being able to connect with people from an experience point of view. I would first say to someone that was newly bereaved, I would say I'm sorry that they've lost their loved one and that they're experiencing that this is their story. I would then ask them if they would like to share about their loved one. Sometimes the biggest thing that someone can do is just to sit with another person and in that pain. There doesn't have to be a fix or a solution or made positive or anything like that. Just to have someone else help carry that with you is the biggest support that you can be, I think. Yeah. I think another thing is don't be afraid to speak about the person you've lost. And if you're trying to support someone who's gone through this, don't be afraid to ask them, you know, if they're willing to speak about them. I think one of the things that we've struggled with is when some people are too afraid to bring our son up, to bring Bay up, whereas we don't want him forgotten, we want him remembered, we want to hear people's stories. So obviously that's something that helps us. It may not help everyone, but don't be afraid to, you know, ask them what might help, and don't let that person be the elephant in the room.
Yeah, this is a question that I really struggled with in the first months of my grief, and I wrote a very good friend of mine a letter, and she wrote me one back. She had lost 2 of her children in similar and different circumstances. She assured me that love is eternal and a bond between a mother and child is never broken. And so I keep that close to my heart, but in a practical sense, I think that shared experiences of our journey in the grief process and our shared experiences in what Bay and I love to do together and as a family, that helps me through. Also memorials. Siobhan and I are very good at thinking up of different little memorials and keeping Bay present in our life and our events, and also signs. This has brought about lots of questions with my personal beliefs, which I've never really defined, but my guiding philosophy has been that I will keep whatever connection helps me feel close to Bay, and I won't question it and try and define that in a sense of faith or belief. I guess I hope that people take 2 aspects of our story. There's the aspect of reaching out, but not only reaching out, but also reaching into our friends and family. We can't expect someone that is already grappling with so much on their mental well-being. We can't rely on them to reach out. We have to be the ones to reach in. I hope that people take that, and I also hope that people that have lost loved ones to suicide know that there's support out there, that you can talk about them, and that's sometimes really helpful in processing your grief and the healing journey and things like that.
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is the world can be a tough place. Things happen unexpectedly and we're all here for each other. So if you're struggling, reach out. If you think someone's struggling, reach out to them. Just have each other's backs.
Yeah, it's got to come from the community. It's a community-wide problem, so the solution has to be community-wide as well.
Yep. Why is that important for Bay's Box? Coffs United, football in itself has been a big part of our family. I mean, for us, it brought our family together at Coffs United, and having, Bay played soccer both for Coffs and for Northern Storm. He loved playing soccer, he loved coming and watching, he loved being down at the grounds with us, with other family, with his mates. There's just a really big connection there for us with Bay and with our family. So having Bay's Box there has been a massive help for us, and I guess helps his name live on and do some good, which is something Bay liked doing. He liked helping people.
Yeah. Bay was always there to support us, so now we've got a support in Bay's name. He's still supporting, just in a different sense. Bailey's Box has a 3-pronged mission. First is to raise awareness. We want to reduce that stigma around mental health. Ideally, we want mental health to be a common word that is spoken daily, whether it's reaching out to people or talking about your own mental health. We also want to maintain that connection within our community and open up those spaces for people to come and connect if they need to, if they don't need to, in both of those times. We also want to raise funds as well, so we can do good and continue to help as many people as we can, whether it's from an individual mental health aspect or a bereavement aspect or anything like that.